Bedtime stories, real life in the Middle Ages, queens and revolutionaries. Tonight, we're going to travel back in time. Forget about romantic castles and heroic battles. We'll explore the raw, harsh and often cruel reality of medieval life. Then we'll meet two extraordinary women, a Russian empress who changed the destiny of an empire, and a Mexican artist whose pain turned into revolution. Imagine waking up in a wooden hut. No alarm clock, no electric light, no fresh coffee. Only the distant sound of the church bell echoing through the village is your only indication that the day has begun. Your mattress is made of moldy straw, full of fleas and cockroaches. Your blanket is thick and heavy, weighed down by years of dirt and dust. There's no pillow, no Egyptian cotton sheets, just the promise of another day surviving as a peasant in medieval Europe. And then you take a deep breath and smell. The cold morning air mixed with the stench of animals, dirt and human sweat. It's strong, it's constant, and it's always there. Feel free, relax, let your body relax, breathe slowly, and let's dive together into this ancient world where every minute was a fight against hunger, cold and death. Part 1. Real life in the Middle Ages. Dawn breaks, and you step outside your home. Your only clothing is a thick, coarse tunic made of wool or linen. It's dirty, stained, and smells of damp earth and accumulated sweat. You have no other options. This is your only garment, worn every day until it unravels at the seams. The sun hasn't risen yet, but there's already movement in the streets. Small children run barefoot across the muddy ground. Chickens peck at crumbs. A pig gnaws at trash near the door. And you begin your day with a simple task, relieving yourself. But where? There's no bathroom, no toilet seat, no toilet paper. There's only a bucket behind the house, an old, full one with a smell that's nearly unbearable. You do what you must, then dump its contents into the street, shouting something like, "Watch out!" to warn anyone walking below. The streets are open sewers. Mud, excrement, and leftover scraps of food mix with rainwater. You take a deep breath and try to ignore the stench. Afterward, maybe you wash your hands, but there's no soap. Sometimes just cold water and a bit of ash. Your hands become rough, dry, marked by daily labor. Your skin constantly itches. Fleas, lice, and ticks live in your hair, on your clothes, in your bed. And what about your teeth? Well, there's no toothbrush, toothpaste, or floss. Sometimes people chew on a stick or rinse with vinegar or weak wine, but that's rare. Your teeth are yellowed, rotting, full of holes. By the time you're 25, half of them are already gone. Now imagine the taste inside your own mouth, a strong, rancid odor. No one complains. Everyone smells the same. It's time to eat. Your meal is simple, a thick, dark porridge called pottage, cooked in the same pot for days, sometimes weeks, mixed with roots, herbs, grains, and questionable pieces of smoked meat. It's thick, almost paste-like. No seasoning, no salt. Just food to keep you alive. Bread? Yes, there's bread, but it's hard. So hard it could be used as a weapon. Made from rye or barley flour, sometimes mixed with sawdust or tree bark to thicken the dough. You don't cut this bread. You chew it, hard, and drink. Water is dangerous, often contaminated, so you drink beer instead. Weak, low in alcohol, but safe. Children drink it too. There's no alternative. Now it's time to work. Your day begins at sunrise and ends only when the sun dips below the horizon. You plant, weed, plow, and harvest. You walk miles with heavy sacks on your back. Your hands bleed, your knees ache, your muscles burn. You work 6 days a week. On Sunday, you rest, unless there's an emergency, illness, or attack by mercenaries. When night finally falls, you return home. Your feet hurt, your back throbs, your mind is exhausted. You share dinner with your family. The same pottage, perhaps some sour milk, or a piece of hardened leftover bread. Then you go to sleep, on straw, under a heavy, smelly blanket, surrounded by relatives, animals, and insects. No privacy, no peace. Just the silence of the night, occasionally broken by the sounds of the nearby forest and the distant bark of a dog. And so another day ends, a day like so many others, and so another begins. Part 2, Catherine the Great, the empress who changed Russia while you were struggling through the harsh life of a peasant. On the other side of the continent, a young German woman was about to change the fate of an entire empire. Her original name was Sophie Friederike Auguste von Anhalt-Zerbst, a minor princess from a small German town. Nothing suggested she would become one of the most powerful figures in European history, but Sophie had something few possessed: sharp intelligence, natural charm, and unshakable ambition. She read extensively, spoke multiple languages, and understood politics far better than many adults. She knew how to navigate the complex game of power with grace and precision. At just 14 years old, she was sent to Russia to become the wife of the future Tsar Peter III. Upon arrival, she abandoned her religion, her name, and her former identity. After converting to Orthodoxy, she became known as Ekaterina Alexeyevna, Catherine. Her husband, Peter, was strange, immature, more interested in war games than ruling. He despised Russia, admired Prussia, and treated Catherine with indifference. For years, they barely touched. Catherine, however, did not accept this position. She studied Russian culture, learned the language, and embraced its customs. She began gathering allies, especially among army officers. She read Enlightenment philosophers, wrote political letters, and carefully planned her future. And when Peter finally ascended the throne, Catherine saw her chance. In 1762, while Peter was away from the palace, Catherine led a peaceful coup. Supported by loyal generals, she marched through the streets of St. Petersburg, declared herself empress, and gained the support of the imperial guard. Peter returned without allies or control. He was arrested. Days later, he died under mysterious circumstances. Catherine was now the ruler of the largest nation in Europe. She didn't rule by force alone. She ruled with vision. She wanted to modernize Russia, to promote education, reform laws, and expand its borders. Her reign lasted more than 30 years, during which Russia grew territorially, culturally, and economically. She was a woman in a world ruled by men, and yet she ruled with authority, diplomacy, and determination no one expected. Catherine the Great, a queen who was never born to rule, but knew how to take the throne and shape an empire with her own hands. Part 3, The Red Queen and Frida Kahlo. In the heart of the Mayan jungle in Palenque, a surprising discovery revealed a mysterious figure. The so-called Red Queen was found buried in red powder, jade, and cinnabar. Her identity remains uncertain. Some believe she was Zakbu-u Ajao, the queen of Pakal the Great. Others say she could have been his mother or a priestess. But her tomb, untouched by thieves, shows that she was someone of great importance. Her body was found covered in cinnabar, a red mineral used in sacred rituals. Her funerary mask, made of precious stones, suggests that she was a spiritual and political leader. She lived in the 7th century during the peak of Mayan civilization, and although her name has been lost, her story remains carved in stone, symbols, and silence, just like Frida Kahlo. Frida was born in 1907 in Mexico. She suffered from polio as a child, and at the age of 18 survived a terrible bus accident. An iron rod pierced her body. Her bones were broken. Her life was never the same again. Confined to bed, immobilized and in pain, Frida began to paint. At first, for distraction. Later, out of necessity. Her body ached, but her mind created. She painted herself, dozens of self-portraits, fragmented, Furious, loving, painful, feminine, revolutionary. Her art spoke of physical and emotional pain, of identity and resistance. She married Diego Rivera, one of Mexico's greatest muralists. A turbulent relationship full of betrayals and reconciliations, but also an unparalleled creative partnership. Frida lived with constant pain. She endured more than 30 surgeries. She suffered miscarriages, disappointments, and a health condition that worsened year after year. Still, she continued to paint. She became a symbol of resistance, of authenticity, of art as a form of healing. And today her image is everywhere, on T-shirts, murals, books, and in museums. Frida Kahlo didn't just live, she inspired generations. Now take a deep breath. Let sleep surround you as you carry the memory of these stories. Stories of difficult lives, of courage, of transformation. Thank the modern world for its clean sheets, private bathrooms, medicine, and freedom. And thank those who came before us, who faced a world without comfort, without rights, without choice. May these stories serve as inspiration, comfort, and reflection. Good night.